Okay, let's talk about a word that can make anyone's shoulders tense up a little bit: recession, right? It's just loaded with anxiety about jobs, savings, the future. But look, this explainer isn't about feeding that fear. It's actually the opposite. It's about empowerment. It's about turning that big, scary uncertainty into a concrete plan you can actually use. So let's break down exactly how to do that. So here's our game plan. We've broken this down into a really clear three-pillar strategy. First, we're going to quickly get on the same page about what a recession even is. Then, we'll dive deep into those three pillars: how to secure your finances, protect your career, and, maybe most importantly, how to master your own mindset through it all. And then at the end, we'll wrap it all up into your own personal recession survival kit. Sound good? So, what are we really talking about here? Well, the official technical definition you'll always hear is 2 straight quarters of the economy shrinking, that thing they measure by GDP. But let's be real. For most of us, it feels a lot more personal than that, right? It's really about our jobs, how we spend our money, and the security of our investments. And honestly, knowing how to prepare is way more important than memorizing the textbook definition. Now get a load of this number. This is staggering. Research shows that workers who don't have emergency savings lose an average of 6.1 hours per week just from being distracted by money worries while they're on the job. That's almost a full workday every single week lost to anxiety. It just perfectly illustrates why building a solid financial foundation isn't some nice to have. It's absolutely essential for your focus and your well-being. And that brings us right to pillar 1, securing your finances. Now, this isn't about getting rich overnight or anything like that. It's about building a financial shield, a buffer that gives you control and, more importantly, peace of mind when the economic winds start to get a little shaky. So the very first step in building that shield is just getting a handle on where your money is actually going. You've probably heard of it, but the 50-30-20 rule is a fantastic, simple way to start. The idea is so straightforward. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs: rent, groceries, you know the drill. 30% is for the wants, the fun stuff. And that last 20%, that's the crucial part. It gets aimed directly at savings and smashing down debt. It's a simple system that puts you back in the driver's seat. And here is the incredible payoff of dedicating that 20%. This data shows just how dramatically an emergency fund can change things. I mean, look at this. The bar on the left, over half the people with zero savings reported rising stress. But now look to the right. For folks with just $2,000 set aside, that number completely plummets. See, you're not just saving money, you are literally buying yourself peace of mind.
Okay, so the first big goal is to build that emergency fund. The target you'll hear is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now, if that sounds massive, don't let it scare you. Just start small. Seriously, even $50 a month builds the right habit. The real secret weapon here is to automate it. Have it move to a separate account without you even thinking about it. This fund is your firewall. It's what protects your long-term goals and stops you from being forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time.
Now, while you're building up that savings cushion, you also have to be smart about debt. Lenders tend to get a bit nervous during recessions, which means your credit score becomes even more important. So focus on paying down that high-interest debt first, like credit cards. Stay on top of all your payments and really try to avoid taking on new debt, unless it's an absolute necessity. Okay, with that financial shield starting to take shape, let's move on to our second pillar: protecting your career. Because, a strong financial base is one thing, but making sure your income stays as stable as possible, that's the other, equally critical side of the coin. This is all about making yourself an invaluable asset. In a shaky economy, the most durable skills are the ones that aren't tied to just one job or one industry. We're talking about transferable skills, things like project management or data analysis that are valuable pretty much everywhere. And just as important are those soft skills, like being adaptable and a clear communicator. Trust me, in uncertain times, companies crave people who can solve problems on their own without a lot of handholding. It's also really smart to just be aware of which industries are naturally more stable because they provide things we all need. I mean, think about it. No matter what the economy is doing, people will always need healthcare, education, IT security, and electricity. Understanding where this built-in demand is can help you focus your own career development or even guide you if you're thinking about a change. Another really powerful move is to diversify your income. In other words, don't rely on just one paycheck. A side hustle, whether it's freelancing, offering a service you're good at, or even doing gig work, it creates a whole other stream of cash flow. This not only helps you build that emergency fund faster, but it gives you a crucial backup if your main job is ever impacted. It's not just about extra cash, it's about building your own personal economic safety net. All right, this brings us to our third and final pillar, which honestly might just be the most important one of all: mastering your mindset. The financial and career stuff we talked about, that's the what to do. This is the how you actually do it. It's all about managing the psychology of a downturn so you can stick to your plan when things get scary. I absolutely love this quote from Warren Buffett because it completely reframes how we look at an economic downturn. I mean, a falling market feels like a threat, right? But for a long-term investor, it's actually a sale. It's a chance to invest in the future at a huge discount. Just that simple shift in perspective is an incredibly powerful mental tool to have. And if you need hard data on why you shouldn't panic and sell, here it is. This chart from Schwab is crystal clear. If you just stayed invested in the S&P 500 during this time, you would have seen a really healthy return. But look at what happens if you get scared, pull your money out, and miss just the 10 best days of the market's recovery. Your return gets nearly cut in half. It is the clearest proof that trying to time the market is a losing game. So the key takeaway here is to channel all that nervous energy into productive action. Unproductive worry, that's doom scrolling the news and making decisions based on fear. Productive worry, that's reviewing your budget, picking a new skill to learn, or just sticking to your long-term plan. One paralyzes you, the other prepares you. And finally, please remember to take care of yourself. This stuff is stressful, and you are not alone in feeling that way. Money is a top stressor for most people, so lean on your support system, go for a walk, and be open with your family about the financial plan you're making. Facing this as a team really does reduce the burden on everyone. Okay, we have covered our 3 pillars. We've covered a ton of ground. Now, let's pack all of this into a simple, actionable survival kit that you can literally start using today. So here it is, your action plan boiled down to 3 simple commitments. For your finances, start that emergency fund even if it's just a small amount each week. For your career, pick one new transferable skill and commit to learning it this quarter. And for your mindset, trust your long-term plan and resist that urge to react to every single up and down in the market. These 3 actions, they are your foundation for resilience. The truth is, economic cycles are totally inevitable. We just can't control when the next downturn will happen. But what we can absolutely control is how we prepare for it. Panic is a choice, but so is planning. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what is the very first concrete step you are going to take, starting today, to build your resilience?